All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course, where it might try to autoplay as it sometimes does. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not exactly sure why. So we'll be talking about various news today, starting off, of course, with the Trump French fry fallout, which is absolutely hysterical. The reaction by sane people is, haha, that's funny. The reaction by insane people is like Newsweek and some of these others saying, well, it was staged. Yeah, I'm so surprised the Secret Service didn't allow people within arm's reach of the former president of the United States without vetting them. That would make a lot of sense. It doesn't make any sense at all, actually. But we'll get right into that. We'll be talking about the very real. This is Politico, of course. Of course, it's Politico. The very real scenario where Trump loses and takes power anyway. Ooh, that sounds spooky. It's almost like a little bit of a Halloween story. And Trump's going to overthrow the country. He's going to install himself as dictator and all this bullshit. We'll talk about AI art. I've got an album, actually, link in the description to some that I've generated through Grok over on Twitter. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, and sometimes it's in between. But as far as generating images that are like the bamboo wall scrolls that I have all around the room, it's pretty good. And I can't wait to see the next inception of it. I'm sure that it'll be even more impressive. I personally think AI art is a good thing. Tomorrow, I will tell the story of how SpaceX was forced by the government to kidnap seals, put earphones on them, and play sonic boom sounds to see if they seemed upset. Yes, apparently the government forced SpaceX to abduct seals and perform experiments on them that if you or I performed them, would be conceived of as animal abuse, and in some states can lead to felony charges, actually. And the government's doing it. We've got 500,000 more registered voters than there are people old enough to vote in Michigan because they're not purging the voter rolls before the election. I sense shenanigans there. I'm not so sure about Michigan at this point. Some of the states have defortified, like Nevada. It looks like it's going to go for Trump. I think I still favor him in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia. By the way, that's pretty close to the election. Even Arizona looks like he's beginning to run away with it. Bakery sells Kamala Harris and Donald Trump cookies for presidential cookie poll. We'll get into that as well. Not because it's really heavy-hitting news or anything like that. It's just amusing to me. Last beacon, hey Sticks, ping us. Also, I early voted today. Also voted no on amendments 3 and 4. You'll have to tell me what amendments those are. Congratulations. Yeah, there are two groups of Trump voters. One says, no, don't vote early because then the Democrats will know how many ballots they need to print. The other ones, and I'm one of them, say, no, I mean, that's a non-issue. You should early vote to make sure that you actually vote at all. Because there's always a possibility that you're not there on election day. You could be sick, you could be injured, polling place could have been fucked up or something like that. Orchid Finance, do you think Trump will win the popular vote but lose the Electoral College? No. I think that he will lose the popular vote and win the Electoral College. Last beacon, that's the abortion amendment and the marijuana amendment. Oh. I personally support legalizing marijuana myself, having used it in the past. I don't find it to be particularly problematic. Garrett Thomas, hey, from Maine, Sticks, people up here are pretty uncertain as to whether Trump can win. Such will the election results be back to normal and will be available the night and morning after. I think Trump will lose the state of Maine, although the extra slot that they've got, much like Nebraska, I believe it is, will go for Trump. That represents a different district, or they've got a weird hybrid system. I don't believe he will win the state of Maine. I think he doesn't have enough time. If I had to say any blue wall state was going to be won by him, it'd be Virginia. By the way, if he wins Virginia, he's definitely got the election. On election night, and I will be live streaming that, by the way. You'll go vote, and then you can tune into Uncle Sticks, I suppose. If it looks like Virginia is even going to be close, that's really bad news for Kamala Harris. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Oh, GP Amendment 3 in Florida is a snake in the grass legalization. Oh, so it's like Ohio did years ago, and it got defeated. Basically, yeah, you can smoke weed, but you can only buy it from government-run dispensaries where it's going to be double the cost. Last beacon, I'm mainly a just say no type of person. Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to use drugs, then don't use drugs. But don't ruin it for everyone else if they want to use them. Scott Steiner, less than 5 minutes until Trump's interview with Kane and Undertaker is posted to his YouTube channel. This has devolved into storyline from WWE with all the pro wrestling stars endorsing candidates. Yeah, it's interesting. This is the worldwide wrestling election to some degree, which is very strange. Anyways, first we're going to get into Donald Trump making French fries. The reaction from the average person is that it's amusing, and that's what it was meant to be. This is his idea of humor. It's red meat to the base more than anything else. It's funny. The average person would consider this to be hilarious, and it is. The idea of a former president of the United States / billionaire / presidential candidate serving up, meals to people is fucking hilarious. And meanwhile, he's cracking one-liners. He's like, oh, the press is going to love this when he takes his jacket off, his suit. He puts on the apron and everything else. And it's just fucking funny. It's amusing. That's what it's meant to be playful. It's meant to be hilarious. The liberal media, though, doesn't have a sense of humor. Neither do liberal so-called influencers. And so they're saying, well, it was all a staged event. The people that were getting their meals, it's all fake. Again, Secret Service would not allow him to randomly waltz into a McDonald's, unexpected and unannounced, and begin serving up food. Although that would be peak Trump. It would be his MO. He just walks into McDonald's, he grabs someone's hamburger, starts shoving it down, says, okay, give me that fucking apron. I can actually see him doing something like that just for clout. Lord of the Ree, ping us. That is all. Bystander syndrome. I refuse to believe Trump is up. Harvest 10 ballots or bring 10 friends to vote Orange Man. Also, if elected, Donald Trump has promised to pardon the Hamburglar. Lol. Yeah, it's launched 1,000 memes, that's for sure. Garrett Thomas. Should have rephrased the end of my other chat. Will we know if Trump is president on the night of, unlike the last election? Also, YouTube super chats typing sucks. Yeah, it's possible that we'll know the night of. It will have to be an insurmountable gap, though, if we know that Trump has run away with it, or Kamala for that matter. Then it'll be over the night of. Otherwise, it'll be Bloomberg style again. And we're hoping that that does not occur again. Mayor McCheese will have a cabinet position. Yeah, will Wendy be on there? And maybe the Burger King, too. Last weekend, I'm positively spooked about the Michigan shenanigans. We'll get to those. Yeah, Michigan, I would not count on Trump getting Michigan. Let's put it that way. Because it looks like there's some funny business going on there. But as for Donald Trump frying up French fries, it's fucking harmless fun. Can you imagine Kamala having such a good sense of humor that she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and I'm going to be the clerk at Walmart for a day. She would never be able to think of such a thing. Maybe she'll try some sort of stunt like this and it'll just fall flat because Trump's done it first. First presidential candidate to serve French fries to a person. It doesn't matter whether those people were vetted. Of course they were vetted. Nobody expected any different. Of course, only a handful of people were going to be allowed to actually get French fries from Donald Trump. By the way, if you have one of those Trump fry things and you eat it, you're a fool because they'll last forever. And then you can say, these are the authentic Trump fries. Here's a video clip of me getting the fries directly from the probably incoming 47th president of the United States. Cooking Inferno. Clankers should show up to the Syrax party and protest on Halloween. Let's see. It's going to take weeks for Trump votes to get counted and certified. That is entirely possible. That's the whole problem. Just a second here. Yeah. For some reason that glitched out for a second. Okay, never mind. Doomsday Machine. Can you imagine the memes if Trump wins? Breaking. Local Philadelphia fry cook becomes president. Yeah, I know. It'd be great, wouldn't it? And it's probable. At this point, I give a significant edge to Trump. This particular stunt is not going to change many voters' minds, but it'll change a few because they'll say, well, Kamala over there, she laughs at her own jokes because nobody else will. Trump's here cracking one-liners, for an extended period of time, and it's just fucking hilarious. The biggest meme will be the left-wing fallout should Trump win, because they're going to do the primal scream therapy thing, the pink hat thing, all of the other things that they did in 2016 on steroids, basically. Oh my God, we've got 4 more years of torment. 4 more years of a balanced economy. How the hell are we supposed to perturb the population and take over for communism if the economy is doing well? Cooking Inferno, you sound great. New England definitely is better for you. Yeah, I know. I like, although the weather, well, today the weather is mild for the next couple days too, but otherwise, I'm not a fan of this time of year. It's like the sun begins to decline, you get frost and shit. I like to wait until there's actual snow. Once it's snowy, then it's okay. If it's going to be below 40 degrees, I want snow on the ground. Otherwise, it's supposed to be in the 60s at least. That's what I'm talking about. The very real scenario where Trump loses and takes power anyway. Ooh, isn't this spooky? You see, the problem is Politico is just recycling the same bullshit talking points that they did before. Here's the answer to how Trump is going to overthrow the election when he loses. He will deepen distrust in the election results by making unsupported or hyperbolic claims of widespread voter fraud and mounting long-shot lawsuits challenging enough ballots to flip the outcome in key states. Legally impossible. He will lean on friendly county and state officials to resist certifying election results, a futile errand that would nevertheless fuel a campaign to put pressure on elected Republican legislators in state houses and Congress. He will call on allies in GOP-controlled swing state legislators to appoint alternate presidential electors. Legally untested, by the way. He will rely on congressional Republicans to endorse the alternate electors, or at least reject Democratic electors when they convene to certify the outcome. He will try to ensure Harris is denied 270 votes in the Electoral College, sending the election to the House, where Republicans are likely to have the numbers to choose Trump as the next president. So basically, it's the spooky woo bullshit that we saw, for the last 8 years. We've seen it before. It's not a new thing, but they don't have anything else to talk about. All they can be is hyperbolic, while projecting, of course. I seem to recall in 2016, certain individuals within politics didn't want to accept the results of that election. So they started rambling about Russia and things like that. Fair Frozen, sorry to bring it up again if mentioned, but comments on Matt and Blonde breakup? Wish to see you talk with Matt again. Oh, they've stopped doing their show together? I don't know. Yeah, if somebody has any info on that, they can DM me on Twitter. Last Beacon, the primal scream thing, as well as everything else, could end with 500 megaton nuclear device aimed at Russia and Ukraine and ultimately break humanity's own will to do therapy in the first place. Egg Beast sent 20, I believe, Mexican dollars. Thank you. No comment. Yeah, the idea of Donald Trump overthrowing the election, installing himself as dictator, running roughshod over the Constitution and destroying democracy forever. That's a bunch of bullshit. It has been bullshit. It's just like the Russia hoax, the Pissgate hoax, the everything hoax, the Steele dossier, the Jack Smith case, and everything else under the sun. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Horse shit. Horse shit, cow shit, pig shit. Basically every kind of shit mixed together. Texan Patrick P. Yo, Sticks, 51-year-old fellow long-haired dude here. Been listening to you for about a decade. Oh, long-term clanking. Just wanted to say thanks for all the great content. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Trump is the world's worst dictator. He couldn't even get anything past his own Republican House for 2 years. They yammer for decades about wanting to secure the border, then they won't fucking fund it. He couldn't get anything done. Basically, anything he couldn't do through executive fiat, basically, he couldn't do it all for the first 2 years. Bunch of horse shit. They're trying to scare people, and the reason why is they don't have a platform. Kamala's platform, she's already laid bare. I wouldn't do anything different from Joe Biden. What a selling point. People are really receptive to that. Last Beacon, I say this because I want a fundamental society of broken souls that are more robotic than human, that are not willing to give a shit about what is offensive because they won't feel offended. I agree with that element of it. Yeah, Oscar Gonzalez, leftoids are saying they're leaving the U.S. if Trump is elected. Both left and right-wingers threaten that every election cycle. It's been happening for a very, very long time. And nobody ever really leaves, and nobody cares if they do. The big thing is I'm genuinely worried about Kamala Harris the same way I was Hillary Clinton. Part of the reason I voted for Trump in 2016 wasn't even because of his own merits, although they were there. I had my disagreements with him as well. Part of it was because I was worried genuinely that Hillary Clinton, as the first female president and being a neoliberal warmonger, would start some sort of major conflict to show I'm one of the boys. I worry the same thing with regards to Kamala Harris. I mean, I don't really, I don't have any problem with having a female president. It's like they're trying to cast you off as misogynist if you won't vote for her. No, it's more like if you gave me Tulsi Gabbard, I'd vote for her. If you gave me Carrie Lake, I'd vote for her. If you could just give me somebody who's sane. So don't give me a Sarah Palin and don't give me a Kamala Harris. That's all I'm asking. Last weekend, I want the human ability to feel more, to be removed and to have people be more Vulcan, so to speak. I don't want that. I just want people to grow a pair. Eyes wide open are yours. Will Elon purge the Fed workers? Hopefully. Let's get to our sponsors before we get to the AI art, because I find that really cool. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills, which I actually forgot to take earlier. Radiant Energy, you've got Brain 2. Take one right now. They are not a drug. These are a supplement. It's like with Rishi and stuff like that, Chaga. Now watch, I choke on a mushroom pill on live stream. That would be funny. Wash it down with my other drug of choice here. No, they're pretty good. And they do seem to work. Anecdotally, disclaimer, it's not medical advice. We have pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get bookmarks, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, and much, much more with the Ouroboros logo, everything else. I've got that M1 helmet in the room with the netting, and I stuck one of the engraved spoons in it, and I just thought that was funny. BiltongUSA.com or AntonsUSA.com, where you can get delicious biltong. They've also got teas, candies, all sorts of crazy shit. By the way, that sort of beef bouillon, it's sort of like Vegemite, but with beef bouillon stock in it. Man, it's good. It's definitely better than Vegemite. Anton was correct on that one. Get yourself some bison and cabanasi. Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. Several styles and several colors are available. They've got the Ouroboros on them, of course. Everything's got the Ouroboros on it. It's my own personal symbol. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com, where you can get a seed survival bucket for the upcoming spring. Depending on your climate, it might take a while. Also, Sticks, Hex, and Hammer soap. We've got the cedar clove and blueberry mix. That's the blue soap. And then the marjoram lavender mix. That's the pink soap. It's sort of a his and hers soap sort of collection. We've got websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer blades in various styles there. Very sharp, so be careful. Again, I learned the hard way on a live stream several months ago. We've got beanies. We've got metal straws. I use those regularly. And really good quality. Also easy to clean. All you need is a fucking pipe cleaner, and you can reuse it forever. You never need to kill another sea turtle unless you intend to eat it in turtle soup down in New Orleans. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com. We've got the Clank Blend coffee, the real, authentic, original gangsta coffee of Clank. It's some smooth shit. It's definitely, it's the best coffee that I've ever had. And I'm not saying that because it's a Clank blend. I'm saying that because out of some experimental blends, it was definitely the best. And it at least rivals the Costa Rica blend. They've also got tea available as well. Last weekend, I say this because I've experienced 19 years of this nonsense, and I want to see it come to an end and see a new golden age of anti-emotionism. I don't agree with you. I have to disagree with you on that one. I don't know. I like emotion. Part of being human, you know? Jason Lane, what's your swing state estimate for Trump if ballot printers go brrr again? It swung at least Georgia and Arizona last time. I'm guessing they can do 50K ballots on demand. I don't think it'll be enough. Based on the polling that I'm seeing and the gap in early voting in several of the states, I don't think 50,000 would come anywhere near close. They're going to have to pick off like any 4 states, and they'll have to redouble their efforts. That'll be a little bit transparent. At some point, you're printing too many ballots. They're probably already doing that now with the early voting to try to hide. But I don't think that it'll work in the end because they don't know how many people are going to come out on election day. Pilgrim Media, have you ever eaten beefalo jerky? I think so. I'm not 100% sure, come to think of it. I would try it, definitely. I'll try any food once. Ate turtle soup. I've had kangaroo, ostrich. Ostrich, by the way, ostrich burgers are great. Keep in mind, if you do ostrich burgers, you don't need to cook them quite the same as beef burgers. Oh yeah, link in the description. The third link there under the topics of the day: 80s retro style Japanese art. As you know, I really like the old 80s vintage like Japanese wall hangs. They're like little scrolls. You can roll them up, and they're made on bamboo, and they use traditional East Asian sort of artistic designs. There's an entire school of art that's based on the premises that are there, the flowing of objects, their position relative to each other. There are certain themes like nature is a big one, architecture to an extent, animals, plants, a lot of dragons and stuff like that. And I find it fascinating. I've got a collection of, I think, about 100 of them now. But then I realized that Grok is capable of pretty much replicating the basic design. In fact, some of these look like some of the wall hangs I've got next to me. Sometimes Grok can make mistakes, like the second image here. I was trying to get a picture on a vintage 1980s East Asian style hand-drawn painting of a rooster defending several hens against a snake. For some reason, one of the hens has the head of a snake. The snake is literally conjoined, like it doesn't have a head. And the hens are like, there's two hens facing opposite one another, and they're conjoined at the ass. That was a mistake. Grok can do that occasionally. Overall, it tends to work fairly well. Got a tree stump with mushrooms coming out of it. I like that one. I think my favorite, though, is the snake curled up under the juniper tree. I really like that one. And then there's an example of a properly done one where the snake is curled around the hen and the rooster is about to attack it and stuff. So you can take a look through those. Grok generated all of these. I've generated all sorts of, I've generated memes of myself. For some reason, I'm capable of being rendered there. I guess because there's enough fodder online for it to crawl through. Trump stuff, especially with the fucking French fries. I really like Grok. I'm having a great deal of fun with that. I'm going to be generating more and putting it into a different folder that'll have even more material. There's like ducks. I really like nature scenes. And that's great because most of the Japanese wall hang art is nature scenes. A lot of birds, actually. A lot of colorful things. There's also usually a counterbalance between the drab side and like random spots of color. For instance, there's one up there. It's like a little cliffside area. It's very dried out. It's like a dark green and gray and stuff like that. But then you have these two big red flowers on there. And it's the contraposition of these two elements that is a hallmark of this kind of Asian art. Billy Howard, if TDS sufferer Trudeau delays the CDN election to 2026, the criminal illegals will self-deport to CDA. We're screwed till the Conservative Party is voted in and joins Trump in a CDN U.S. migration pact. Bob 383, Kamala is going to do Five Guys. I think she's done more than that already. Mr. Kojak, I'll try turtle soup, but never doing the blue egg. I'd try that too. Isn't that the 100-year-old egg, so-called? Like a fermented egg? I'd try it. Metal O'Keefe, just a reminder, today is the last day to register to vote in Pennsylvania. Amish are mobilizing to the polls in retaliation for shutting down farms. Go join the Amish. Go and help the Amish to overrun Pennsylvania. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, the election's probably over. Five Guys. Yeah, my uncle made a joke once about it. He said 5 guys in a row or something like that. Applies to Kamala, I believe. Elon Musk, this is a very strange post. The fact that Elon Musk is actually talking about this is also hilarious. It would also be conceived of as animal abuse if you or I did this. Like if some random amateur scientist said, you know what, I wonder what'll happen if I blast heavy metal into a seal's ears. What will their reaction be? Apparently, by the way, the reaction is almost non-existent. You would be conceived of as an animal abuser, and you would be thrown in prison. It would probably be a fucking felony charge. I think they upgraded animal abuse to a felony in a lot of states. I think it carries up to 10 years or something like that, which I support, actually. But in this case, the government literally forced SpaceX to abduct several seals and then play sonic booms into their ears to check their reaction because they keep sending off rockets. And they wanted to, I guess the government cares about the seals. This is totally not retaliatory in nature. No, it could never be that. They genuinely care about the well-being of the seals. Hell, they fucking don't. I got seal meat. It's actually pretty good. The Japanese have a tendency to take everything out of the ocean that they can and marinate it in the same sort of sweet, briny sauce. So whale and seal kind of taste the same. Bear kind of tastes the same as well. A lot of fatty meats, I've noticed. And yet, for some reason, they live forever compared to Americans. Could it be the lack of processed food? I don't know. Last weekend, I say this because after experiencing the year from hell, 2015, where everyone tore down Confederate statues and flags and gay marriage got legalized, I want to push society towards anti-emotionalism. I don't give a shit about people getting gay married. Plus, the whole COVID nonsense, as well as 9/11, and to fundamentally show that humanity doesn't really matter in the abstract. You sound vaguely nihilistic at the moment, my friend. Have a better one. Apache, even if Trump wins, it feels like they'd rather see people dead than letting him back in office. It'll be a bloody fall and winter. Possibly. It's possible. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Well, I'll figure it out later. Wasted Bonehead, good morning from the grave. Here comes our Halloween mascot. Yeah, the Japanese, there's like a bipolar food mentality there where a lot of it is like really wholesome, unprocessed stuff, a lot of like organic veggies and shit, a lot of homemade soups and stuff, rice cooking. And then on the other side, you have like the hyper processed, like dried everything. Like I've probably got 200 packets of dried soup and a bunch of dried vegetables and stuff from my friend JD Spare, who teaches over in Japan. And he's gotten me all sorts of crazy shit. Dried squid, bear meat, boar meat, seal meat, literal whale meat, which is legal to consume and possess. You just can't sell it in the United States, by the way. It's very fatty, slightly fishy, and tastes a. How do I describe the flavor? I mean, if you had it like cooked raw or something, I'm sure it would taste different. But they marinate it in the same salty and sweet sauce that they also marinate like all the other meats in when they can them. And it's pretty delicious, actually. Maybe I'll have some later. I don't know. Mecha Random, try it. It is very good. If you've ever had calamari. Oh, Raskin already said he won't certify a Trump win. Well, it doesn't matter what Raskin does. Nobody cares about him. No, I like weird foods. Well, weird by American convention. Yeah, so, Elon Musk was forced to strap seals down and play sonic booms into their ears to appease the U.S. government. Again, it's totally not the case that they're doing this to persecute him. They totally care about the seals. No, they don't. When they visit Japan, they eat seal meat and shit. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to go out and club a seal or something like that, but I don't have a problem with the concept of people eating it. It's not like the average person in the world is eating a lot of seal meat, so I don't think that it's a big problem. I don't think they're not endangered anyway. Some kinds of whales are, but, Michigan has over 500,000 more registered voters than there are people old enough to vote. They don't plan on fixing this until after the election. Oh my God, imagine my surprise, by the way. Data is not real-time and updates once a day. Registered Michigan voters, 8,440,257. Inactive voter registration slated for cancellation in 2025, 339,638. Considering how close this election may be, wouldn't that be enough to tilt the balance, assuming that there's any tilting within that cohort? Methinks so. This is quite obviously an attempt to fortify the Michigan, in other words, rig the election in Michigan. So Trump can no longer count on the state of Michigan. He'd be well warned. Focus on, Georgia, North Carolina. You need to hold that red wall. Arizona and Nevada, totally in play. Wisconsin, oddly enough, in play. And Pennsylvania. At this point, I would spend more time in Virginia than in Michigan in these last couple of weeks. You can pick Virginia off. I realize that there's been a partial refortification there too because of bullshit action by the government, but it is possible. We're seeing the blue wall beginning to crumble. Meanwhile, states that were supposedly in play, like Texas and Florida and Ohio, have gone more red. So the red wall has held, the blue wall has ultimately not. You should check out Donald Duck, Der Fuhrer's face cartoon from 43, and all hail the king of Biltong. I've seen it multiple times, trust me. Wasted Bonehead. I find it funny. The same people fighting for democracy are trying to jail their opponent, remove him from the ballot, and refuse to certify an election if he wins. They really love democracy. Yeah, I've noticed. Yes, I have seen this many, many times. It's retarded, honestly. Yeah, and this is corroborated, by the way, too. And then the governor comes out and says, well, we're operating in accordance with the law. Yes, but that's not the point. The point is that you're keeping hundreds of thousands of people on the voter rolls that aren't even eligible to vote. And it appears that you've got more people registered to vote than technically should be able to vote in the first place. Last Beacon also continued, I wanted to show that life itself doesn't really matter. We live, we breathe, we glow, we die. There's no point. I disagree with you myself. I believe that there's a point to life. Life's what you make it. Good song by Talk Talk, by the way. And then we have a bakery over in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Oakmont Bakery is once again selling election cookies with the faces of the presidential candidates on them. By the way, don't they have a good goddamn business model? Because people come in, when you give them a challenge, you basically are saying, buy a cookie and it's part of the poll. They're buying a cookie, they're giving you money. Oh man, the profit that they're making, oh man, it must be hilarious. Every year they're getting that six-figure cash infusion. It has been a tradition for them since the bakery was able to print images on cookies. Just to sort of keep it fun and loose, we have a third-party cookie this year, which is the Poxy, said Michael Sullivan, the retail manager. The bakery is titled That Treat, the sweetest candidate. You could say it is for those who aren't a fan of either Trump or Harris. Tony Sereo, the general manager of the bakery, said it just tallied up purchases of each treat on Friday. So this is just through, Friday. So Donald Trump is leading at 21,000 individual cookies. Cha-ching, Sereo said. Kamala Harris is at 6,200. Womp, womp. And the sweetest candidate is at about 9,800. So in other words, Kamala is coming in third to random person. The cookies can't predict the election, he said. Well, yeah, but I can predict, given the number of cookies that you sold here, you're talking 37,000 cookies. Yeah, I guess they did brisk business. And you know that some of those people that came in for the cookie and they ended up buying something else. They probably cleaned up $100,000 or so in sales. So, yeah, their month is paid up. Every 4 years, they're like, oh, thank goodness. Wasted Bonehead, weird. I thought Last Beacon's meaning to life was ping-us posting. Last Beacon, oh, yes, I've been delving into nihilism. Yeah, well, you should extract yourself. Life's what you make it, my man. BW, what are we talking about with more ballots than there is a reason to have? I am late. Do you think Trump will be able to win Pennsylvania and Arizona despite cheating? Yes, actually. I think Nevada is almost in the bag. North Carolina, I don't think he has to worry about. Focus on the rest of the states and also try to pick off Virginia. I have a feeling that Donald Trump will win the election. I think that he will. Popular vote, I think, will be closer than in the last couple of elections. I think that it'll be closer. The Electoral College will probably be, it'll probably be more close to 2016 than 2020. Yeah, the Dead Night Tiger. If turtles don't want to get eaten, why do they come with a free bowl? I've got a turtle shell downstairs somewhere, actually, that my grandfather had. It's pretty fun. It was a big one, too. It's like, that big. Probably was tasty at the time. Mr. Baker, I support gay marriage, but only when both chicks are hot. Eyes wide open are yours. Jesus is king. Hope right rally. Yeah, I think Trump, if I had to, it's like if the election were held today, I think Trump gets Pennsylvania. I think he gets Georgia, North Carolina, and I think he gets Nevada and Arizona. Wisconsin, boy, oh boy. I'm not even going to goddamn bother making a prediction there. I think he loses Michigan. Michigan keeping the inactive voters and ineligible voters on the rolls through the election, which is unacceptable. I think that that's, going to be a problem. I don't think it's a good idea. I think the only people that are voting should be people that are eligible to vote. I mean, call me an extreme right winger or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I would notice, George, I can finally breathe Floyd. Sticks, you concerned at all about how confident Alan Lichtman is Kamala will win? He's sniffing his own farts. He's been wrong in multiple elections before, but never actually admits it. What he's doing is misinterpreting his own keys. That's the problem. He's giving both short and long-term economy to Kamala. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Maybe you with your $500,000 a year income, you're kind of sheltered from the fallout from the Biden economy. Musically assured destruction. Do you think there is a hidden pro-abortion vote that will show up on election day? Also, why are the polls so razor thin? Are we a 50-50 country? No, we're not a 50-50 country, but keep in mind that Clinton at this point was leading by 4.5 and Biden by about 9 points nationally. They were also leading in most of the swing states. Trump is currently leading in every swing state and is about even. He has definitely improved his numbers since 2016, and it's not even close comparing it to 2020. Bacon and eggs. Isn't Trump being in a 2002 McDonald's ad more proof he worked? Oh, it went up. More proof he worked for McDonald's before versus Harris. Lol. Yeah, Harris, I don't think actually ever worked at a McDonald's. Have I seen any proof of this? No. I think that's just like, it's basically like AOC rambling about being a bartender. She never had to worry where her next meal was coming from. Texan Patrick P. Do you like my avatar? I get it from the racist live chat on Legions of Skanks. Great podcast, FYI. For some reason, I can't actually go to your channel, so I can't really see it. King of Biltong. Biltong is ultra high in protein and packed with B12, zinc, iron, creatine, and more. Eat lots of Biltong. You will not be a low energy commie. Harris voter. BiltongUSA.com. Sticks 10 for 10% off. Clank. Yeah, I eat Biltong on the reg. I need some more Wagyu, actually, and put it in soup and shit. BW, I miss the era before Obama. It's like this country went insane after him. Now you're a fascist for wanting election integrity that 15 years ago was common sense. Yeah, also border control. Obama, when he was running for office in 2008, check his spiel about the U.S. border and about immigration and match it to what Trump was running on in 2016 and tell me what the fucking difference was. The only difference is the public reception of it because they were whipped into a frenzy by the legacy media and by propaganda. That's the only difference. Wasted Bonehead. All right, well, afraid I'm about to be very busy. So peace out, clankers. May the clank wizard bless you all. He can go back into his grave. He's got to go back to the underworld. He's got some mushrooms to grow down there. Pilgrim Media. Soak your hair in coconut oil, then wash twice. No. Me no put any greasy substance on my hair or on my face ever. I tend to have relatively sweaty skin. It's a problem of mine. If anything, I'd put like fucking talcum powder in my hair to dry it out. Yeah, Wasted Bonehead has to go back down to the underworld until Halloween. You know, they do Halloween decor down there too. We ran out of news items. How sad. It's just a sec here. I don't know. I can always skim other news articles, but generally speaking, I like to hold some over for the next day. It's just, it sort of makes sense. Let's see. Or have they not even called anything new? Oh, we can get into this. This is some other polling. 2024, 2020, and 2016. National polling. Harris is at +1. Biden was at +7.5 at this day in history. Clinton was at 6.2. In Wisconsin, Trump is currently up by 0.2. That's well within the margin of error. But Biden was carrying it by 4.6 and Clinton by 6.5. She managed to lose the state in the end. Pennsylvania, Trump is at +0.8. Biden was at +4.9 and Clinton 6.2. In Ohio, the only state where Trump has been ahead in all three, he's up 7 points. It's not even close. He was only up by 0.6 and 0.4 respectively in the other elections. In Michigan, Trump +1.2. Again, this is a state that I'm not counting on him winning. I would point out, though, that Biden was plus 3.2, although Clinton was only plus 1.5. So, that one's more dead even. In Nevada, Arizona, plus 1.6. Biden was up by 3.2 and Clinton by 1.5. In Nevada, Trump is up by 0.8. Biden was up by 5.2 and Clinton 4.7. North Carolina, he's up by a half a point. Biden was up by 2.3 and Clinton by 2.8. Clinton, by the way, doing better than Biden in some of these states at the same time in the election. Georgia, Trump is up by 1.8. Biden was up by 0.8 and Trump was up by 4 points in 2016. So actually, he's not doing as well as he did in 2016 in Georgia. However, he is ahead. In Florida, which isn't even fucking close, Trump is up by almost 8 points. Biden was up by 2.1 and Clinton by 4.3. By the way, both of them lost Florida. So Florida's off the table. Texas is off the table. It's beginning to look, Ohio's off the table. Those aren't swing states at this point. I don't know why they're even being counted as swing states. And keep in mind, Trump tends to outperform his polling. He has in the last 2 elections. Not a bad account. What are the chances of Honk winning the election? It's getting lower and lower, I would say. I'd say 15% right now. I'd give Trump an 85% chance of winning. Joseph Slebach, Amish represented, Amish cookbooks at Amish recipes. Sounds yummy to me. I'd like to eat some Amish food. I'm going to go to Amish country and buy jams and shit. Anthony Rodriguez, a lot of Arab and Muslim Americans have turned on camel toe in Michigan. That may help Trump win. Possible, but I'm not counting on it due to the inactive voter roll non-purge. Not a bad account. How many weeks after 11/5 for U.S. election results? Oh, that totally depends. In some states, you'll know on election night, and if he carries enough states by a wide enough margin, it doesn't matter. The election will have been called, and the other states can come in at their leisure, and it'll be hilarious. Texan Patrick P., are you doing the quartering today? Yes, absolutely, assuming he's going live, and I'm assuming he is. And Clank Mofos. Yeah, I think that it shouldn't be difficult for Donald Trump to win. But in these last couple of weeks, he needs to really, really focus his efforts. Pound these states. Focus on any 4 of the swing states and then pound Virginia as well. I would focus on Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, actually, and Arizona. I wouldn't waste too much time in Nevada because based on early voting results, it looks like he's going to run away with it there. And with Michigan, because of the shenanigans going on, I would say, assuming he is ahead, he wins the state. But because of the shenanigans, it's impossible to tell. So don't bother there. North Carolina's in the Trump camp. I don't think he needs to worry about that. Hit Virginia up really hard. Spend like $50 million of the $60 million you raised last month just in Virginia, and go and campaign and stump and Trump there. And if you can make up 2 or 3 points of support, you probably just picked off a blue wall state. This would incapacitate Kamala's campaign. It would incapacitate him. But yeah, I will be on the quartering. In fact, I should probably check my DMs as well. And also, I want to keep up to date on the current news cycle. You got to realize I got to multitask and do all sorts of crazy shit. I'm not complaining, though. I like the news anyway. It's sort of like with my editing. Is it a lot of work, especially the formatting process? Oh, hell yes. But I like to read anyway, and it makes a bit of money, so it's all good. No one will understand what I saw. Israeli soldiers speak out about trauma after serving in Gaza. By the way, can I please bitch about something as an editor? Why am I seeing so many legacy media articles where they constantly have an uppercase I instead of using a lowercase when it's unacceptable to do so? I've seen that over and over and over again over the last 48 hours, especially on CNN. One of their copy editors needs to be fired. Sean Diddy Combs, there's another example. Named in 7 new lawsuits, other celebrities allegedly involved. Oh, no shit. It's sort of like Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently serving, 14 years in a low-security facility. She got imprisoned for trafficking minors to absolutely nobody. People began to notice how mysterious that was. Poll shows voters shift in Trump-Harris contest as race enters final home stretch. Yes, indeed. Fox News as a counter. VP Harris hasn't had a news conference in weeks and counting. 92 days, 10 hours, and 35 minutes. Man, she's not going to have one, probably. Let's see. Yeah, I like how they're bitching about Donald Trump serving French fries, and it's like, yes, of course they vetted the people beforehand. You think they want some random person to roll up with a firearm or something like that? They're like, oh, yeah, Trump is actually going to serve the general public at McDonald's. That's not a security concern. And by the way, they'd be crucifying the Secret Service if they allowed such a thing to happen after what happened at other rallies like in Butler. Cooking Inferno, my cooking channel is beginning to film. Do you want the first vid to be stick switch or a grilled Japanese-style swordfish dish? Do the stick switch. Yeah, absolutely. Texan Patrick P. Any movement on making your greenhouse? That is on delay indefinitely at this moment. I've got other things that I have to do. Last weekend, also another thing, I would love to see the legacy media as well as certain teachers be tried in The Hague for war crimes. Den Haag. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, there are definitely teachers that deserve to be tried for war crimes, or at least crimes against humanity in general. Big Jim's American Dream voted early in Virginia last weekend. Trump and Hung Cow for Senate. Tim Kaine is a punk. Tim Kaine is also responsible for the law that just got battered down there as well, with regards to having to date the ballots, I believe. Apache in Georgia and going to see Trump, Tulsi, and RFK on the 23rd. Hope attempt 3 doesn't happen there. Also, what if the feds have a new way to honk the election? I'm sure they've been brainstorming it. Tigers are my totem, sent $5. That's a lot of pingus last weekend. Debate Destiny on cuckoldry. He'd win that debate. He's got more experience with that sort of thing. Now, the reason that I bounced that debate after agreeing with it, because I had one of his Discord moderators tip me off to the fact that he was doing it in bad faith to try to get me banned, and I'm not interested in that sort of nonsense. Plus, it's like, why give pretty people attention that don't deserve it, you know? Many such cases. Let's see. Wonder if there's any crazy shit on CNN. There usually is. Let's check MSNBC. Let's get some rage bait going here. Sometimes I go to their site. Normally, there's nothing newsworthy. Trump fails to stick the landing with his McDonald's fry cook stunt. Representative Lee says there's no logic to Trump's McDonald's stunt. I mean, this was the logic. The logic is you're going to flip out over something that's obviously fucking hilarious. It's troll-worthy and meme-worthy. That's the whole fucking point. They take the bait. They think that they're being intelligent in criticizing. They don't even seem to fucking understand. They don't get it. I mean, I'm not surprised. They haven't been getting it for a very long time. With bizarre and profane rhetoric, Trump proves Harris right. Yeah, did you see he was talking about some dude's cock the other day? And they were like, oh my God, this is a bridge too far even for Trump. And I was thinking, whoa, wait a second. Wasn't it at the second Republican debate back in 2016 when Marco Rubio had made a joke about Donald Trump's hand size and how it might have correlated to something else? And then he proceeded on a live stage in front of tens of millions of people to joke about it himself. And little Marco had a problem with that. He's already done this. He was doing it fucking years ago. The thing is, these people just don't have a goddamn sense of humor. It used to be the right wing tended to be like, you know, the solemn ones, like hyper evangelical and stuff. Because I couldn't take a goddamn joke. Now they're all posting cartoon frogs and shit like that and French fries at this point. And the left just doesn't get it. They just don't fucking understand it. I guess it's because the meme generation left. They got older and they forgot what it was like to be young. It's rather sad. I'm glad that I got out while the getting was good. Not interested in being a humorless bullshitter. I like my humor. All sorts of it. So that's really self-deprecation. You know, I'd make a cock joke, but it'd be a really short one. You know, stuff like that. Airport introduces time limit on hugs. This I gotta see. Let's see. Oh, Dunedin Airport in New Zealand has a sign imposing a 3-minute limit on hugs in its drop-off zone, adding, for fonder farewells, please use the car park. So there is now a hug limit in New Zealand. Considering the administration there for so long was, so fucked up, I'm not particularly surprised that it'd be there. Cam 2425 IA, Daniel Penny is a hero, and if the judge doesn't throw out the case immediately, they should be disbarred. Agreed. Susan Howell saying $4.99, no comment, thank you. Let's see. Seal meat is still a staple in Antarctica. Well, yeah, I mean, there's not much else to eat down there. Gonna be hard to grow crops. I would say seal meat is similar to whale. It's fattier though. It's a little bit more chewy, but not in a bad way. You know how some fats it's like gristly and you're like it's like rubbery. It's not like that. It's more of the soft tallowed kind. I thought it was delicious. I think I like bear meat the best out of the three though. I haven't tried the boar yet. I don't think I tried the elk either. All sorts of crazy stuff. There's in the bedroom, there's shelf after shelf full of dried fish and weird canned stuff. And there's still those candied locusts that I've got to eat. I've still got a tarantula there as well. And I've been challenged by several people to eat a tarantula with ketchup on a live stream. Not going to do it today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Not a banned account. Do you support Puerto Rican and DC statehood? DC statehood is impossible. Although you could cede the outer edge to Maryland. As far as Puerto Rico, yes. And I know that's an unpopular opinion among some people. They're like, no, it'll be a captive blue state. Not necessarily, actually. It's the size of Connecticut. It's got the same population. In fact, demographically, it's almost a doppelganger. It's basically like a Hispanic Connecticut. I would point out Puerto Ricans are already U.S. citizens. They can already vote in the elections. They can move to any state that they want and vote. So what's the point of not entering him as an actual state? Penguin Poster, do you happen to have a counter-argument or reason why Lichtman's keys don't matter this time around? Because he's not using them properly. He's giving, for instance, short and long-term economic strength to Kamala Harris. The short and long-term economy are not strong. But he's fudging the numbers. He's making an assumption. With the incumbency key, you can't give it to anyone, technically. Former president versus current vice president. Who gets the incumbent key? I guess nobody. Once you go to elk meat, you won't go back to beef. I like buffalo meat, bison. Bison is delicious. Way better than beef will ever be. Although I do like beef. Give me a good ribeye, medium rare. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I'm talking about. I would like to see, is there any new science news? These people don't update as often, sadly. Looks like your ad blocker's on. No shit, Sherlock. Megafire smoke may dampen California's nut harvests. Thankfully, I'm not affected by this because I cannot eat tree nuts, actually. I have developed an allergy to tree nuts. I can eat peanuts, thankfully. It's the only one I would have truly missed. I guess I'll miss almonds a little bit. Almonds can be good. And I can eat coconut. It's not technically a nut at all, but it's fucking delicious. Nano weapon discovery boosts fight against antibiotic-resistant hospital superbugs. You could also smear patients with juniper, chamomile, and yogurt, and that would probably help as well. Unorthodox diseases require unorthodox solutions. Gen RFC, did you see any realistic route for Trump to lose Pennsylvania and still win the election? Yes, if he gets Arizona and Nevada, which is likely, Georgia and North Carolina, and if he picks off Wisconsin, I believe he would still have the votes. Nonetheless, I think he has a 70% chance of getting Pennsylvania. I realize that there's still some bullshit shenanigans going on there. I just don't think that they're necessarily going to be able to pull it off. Not at the level that they'll need. Is Styx an Orthodox Jew, says Music Trading. No, I'm not Jewish at all. I like bacon too much for that shit. Jim Morrison, once in South Park, Butters' character became a pimp. He said, bitches can't be trusted with money. Vote for the Mac Pimp, not the hookah Kamila. Bear Frozen 55. And unlike Connecticut, Puerto Rico honors the Second Amendment. I know, I'm Puerto Rican and I got plenty of gats around me. Sigil, why does AI keep generating you as Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2077? I have no clue. I did generate a few pictures of me. Mostly I was fixated on the Asian art, which I really, really like. I'm thinking about printing those out and, making like little prints of them. You can't do it for commercial purposes without permission from X, but you can do it for your own purposes. G-Phaser, I heard Michigan did purge some of their voter rolls, but they still have 100,000 more registered voters than actual voters. I live there, not happy. Yeah, I mean, if Trump manages to make up another point or so, then it would be difficult for them to print up enough ballots with the voters that aren't supposed to be voting. Cocaine bear piss. Last Beacon, again, please don't spam the chat full over and over again. If you want to say weird shit, you can, but you gotta pay the toll. Ostrich burgers with lettuce, tomato, mayo, and ketchup. Sounds tasty. Yeah, ostrich burgers are good. Bison burgers, though, are the original gangsta burgers. Statehood for Moosylvania. Hashtag vote for Moose. Hashtag Clankin, says Boomega22 squared. Interesting. Anyways, I'm going to go offline. I will be live with the quartering at 1 p.m. Eastern. As usual, I will be on his live stream. I'll message him, make sure that he's actually streaming. And so we'll go live in a little bit later. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I need to eat something. I've been massively into bananas, since I kicked the booze completely. My body, for some goddamn reason, it just needs piles of potassium. Sigil, difficult to print enough ballots, but have you considered our enemies stupid, evil, and insane? If they're stupid, they get caught. But yeah, please DM me about this Matt and Blonde situation. I know nothing about it. All right, everyone. I'm going to go do a news crawl and get a snack, and then I'll be back tomorrow. But again, keep in mind, share the word. I'll be live on the quartering stream at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's noon Central Time. That's about all. Peace out.